Well, good evening, everyone. My name is I am the host of this poetry reading series that happens once a month, currently every first Friday of the month, 7 o'clock. We have two wonderful features tonight, but first I want to share a few little tidbits, literary tidbits. Anne Sexton once told her students, "I am often being personal, but I'm not being personal about myself." I find that kind of interesting. It reminds me of what Charles Simic once said. I write a lot of poems about my father, 10% of which are about my actual father. Vermont poet Bianca Stone says, "I find that my poems know far more than I do, and I prefer it that way." And lastly, Julia Alvarez writes, "This poem is the vaccine already working inside of you." May that be true for us tonight. Perhaps against RFK Jr.'s wishes, but we poets know what's best for us. Well, our first wonderful featured poet is Kerry Loughman, who writes about nature in the city, fractured families, long marriage, and small moments. Recent or forthcoming publications include The Main Street Rag, Nix's Mate, Lily Poetry Review, Passenger Poetry, and Ibbotson Street. Her work has also appeared on websites: Second Coming, a poem a day protest against Trump; Writers Resist; Jackdaw Haiku; The Ekphraxit Review; Mass Poetry's Hard Work of Hope; and Anti-Valentine's Day Poems. She's a three-time winner of the Newton Sparks Haiku Contest. A retired photographer and educator, she lives in Brookline, Massachusetts, with her photographer husband, Zalman Zabarsky. Welcome, Kerry.
Thank you all. Well, all I can say is thank you for coming, and so much death, so much loss, so much chaos in this world.
Mhm.
And in the last few years, my husband and I have seen the loss of old friends and colleagues, dear neighbors, family members who've died too soon, and my sister, the death of my older sister in August. So I have been writing about grief for years now.
Mhm.
Mostly free verse, and an American sonnet or two, and a couple of haibun, which will look to you like prose poems with little haiku tales. Haiku is an old Japanese poetic form used to record travel and the spiritual practices, often written by monks and poets wandering in whatever wildernesses they're looking for. So, inspired by Natalie Russ's reading last fall, I am hoping to share my document as I read. And so let's see, Richard, if this works. Are we there? Yes, we are.
Yes, very good.
Very good. So I will try to scroll down as best I can. I've been told that you can change the size of the font yourselves at your end. So what I've already done is it's as big as it's going to get, but you can try to make it bigger.
Can you move the text to the right so we can see it all?
You can't see it all? Where is it?
It's cut off on the left.
Really?
Yeah.
Not
How
on
so?
my
Richard,
view.
you're
No.
probably over zoomed. Richard, if you zoom out, it won't be cut off anymore.
It's good now.
It also
Yay.
depends on which gallery selection you have going on in Zoom.
Oh, it looks like I can move it. Yeah. All
Well,
right. Very good.
I still am fine with being in control. of the scroll. Okay. Rilke at the Muddy River. This path daily, cliche hedged, stone dusted, offering up ghosts and a dwindling map of rippling water. I trot alone with needy heart. Relentless grief spins me, breathing my own carbon. No music, no companions, no sight, spurned invitations to tenderness. Carmine leaf, maybe Tupelo? Dying naked on slim stem. My torso straightens, preening. Pinned, alive, a heron thinning.
Hmm.
2 blocks from the Arboretum. Our mother never taught us how to love. Not being loved enough, weaned on paucity. Do you remember losing me on Custer Street? I was 3, you 11, and loath to care for me who lagged behind. You turned a corner and were gone. My tears did not bring you back. I ran panicked the blocks to our house where you waited, pale and unrelenting, anti-Madonna of the splintered stair.
Hmm.
By high school, you'd spun yourself so far away, I knew you only by your absence. Bereft, I ran solo under dawn redwoods. Embracing a perfect and necessary dark, I seed. Sister, you are still lost to me. How did the dog know? Is there a smell that precedes death? Some ad hoc chemical lying on skin, papery, thin, and permeable? Is it the garlicky musk of fear and sweat, stale breath of hunger, unaired regret? You humans can only guesstimate the end. For weeks, the dog has whimpered at the door. This hospice home is free from urine stains and fecal smells. Fresh paint and new upholstery pervade. Caretakers practice love with clinical precision. You would approve if only you could speak, but you are dead. A complete diminishment of self. Pain carved and bone lean, speech pruned. Hair lost to treatment finally grew back and now settles into a brindled gray twist on the pillow. Under a sky blue quilt on a summer's day, over hours, you slipped away. No, over days, over months, over years, as bitterness yellowed your joy, built walls rigid as our childhood religion. Impressively color coordinated, you lived in layers of teal, aqua, and slate. Your solitude set itself as a binary code of black and stark winter whites. Somewhere, a thurible is dancing on its gold chain, sensing the myths of myrrh and frankincense. I do not think that they will sing to me. And what of the dog who waits? Frenetic, he frets between the bed and us. He barks. He's losing control because we can't. Finally, he settles on the carpet beside the bed, a reluctant good boy. His eyes hunting us through these dark woods of silence. His eyes, deep chestnut, unwilling to close. Sunday afternoon rides out on mare's tails. Pop-up showers soon.
Hmm.
I need a drink of water, sorry. Apology to a Sister with an epigram by Robert Lowell. All discussions end in the mud-flet detritus of death. A mud-choked river, my heart. rills of jade water, my alibi. Grief submerged thrashes like river carp in heat, pulls me into past scenes of my own undoing, undone my wish to be a heron alone. On a small island of detritus, ducks call me sister, surround me with down enough to float in leaf fall of oak, elm, and tupelo. Your ochre shroud replenishing. Mud cloaked my heart to be a heron alone, my undoing. It is the it is the eve of my 73rd birthday, and I'm chasing ghosts. Excuse me. It is the eve of my 73rd birthday, and I'm chasing ghosts. I'm wearing my sister's worn teal polar fleece, stepping quietly in her worn teal sneakers. My older sister, 2 months gone. The outside world is burning in random campfires of cult. My heart is an Arvo Pärt requiem, all dolor and dissonance. I want to call her on the phone to talk. Instead, I walk. I have been spared, but paired to mute. People passing by don't notice me, can't guess at my distress, limping on and out, like my father listing home every night from the tavern. All heartbreak is local. I wish them no worries, not too much breakage of the heart. I wish for them the embrace of this early October evening with its Maxfield Parish clouds spawned from a full day of rain, layering the sky. The nacre clouds crack, and I fall into the fault lines of my own nature, expecting absolution in every cadence of blue. Heartache is colorblind. I keep walking. Let my eyes trace the outlaw impressions left in freshly set concrete. Dried acacia leaves, a dog's paw print, the outstretched palm of the fallen ginkgo. Leaves deliquesce in piles. I sip yellow cups of bitterness. Now, the next two are not about my sister. They deal with the relentless march of time as we age and all those indignities and small deaths of the body that we are suffering. Everything descends from a painting, Seated Old Woman by Hyman Bloom at the MFA Boston. I am a woman unseen. On the street, in the museum line, I always smile at all I meet. Few people smile back. Most walk past fast, eyes cast inward, resistant to possibility. Just look at the way museum patrons crisscross in front of Bloom's painting, their eyes averted, intent on the ignis fatui of cell phone screens. And yes, the hopeless gray flesh hangs. Those breasts, grotesque. The reptilian nose drips and the sunken face waits. Fermented fruit. How could this be a subject to carry beauty in paint? What brushstroke or caress can succor this dying of the flesh? As for me, a ghost seated on a hard bench, waiting for my lover, another child who's grown old. All our past desires but bruises on the skin of shared memory. This I will become. This. I could close my eyes and choke on it.
Mm. Mm.
And my ultimate poem? Mistakes were made. A jar of Kalamata olives tipped. Overnight, scant liquid dripped its way across the fridge's bottom shelf. insinuating self into every crenellation of cheap plastic parts. Was it fast or slow, the spread? Into the orange net bag of mandarins, and down to the apples and honeybells in the fruit drawer. Speed equals distance divided by time. My husband is tense with my evident lack of anger. His was the rushed fluster of stowing the condiments away. We now count our days by diddly chores and reframes of the past, every dimension cursed with doubt. I think of moment. How easy it is to welcome this disaster as foreseen and due. I think shatter as I take apart the bottom shelf, separate glass from polymer, scrub with dish soap and a fist of badger in my throat. Beside me, a pile of paper towels, stained Merlot, grows. I think blood. I think distance across time and place. I think grief. Thank you.
Wow, Kerry, that was really awesome. It reminds me of something that Barbara once said, that poems are to help us make life bearable. And you really demonstrate that so well. All heartbreak is low. It's something that will stick with me. Really, thank you so much.
Kerry, I'm totally wrecked. I'm totally wrecked. I don't think it made me feel better. I think it made me feel all of my own grief, which is what you're supposed to do. Thank you very much, and don't ever do that again.
Oh, she's still with us, still standing strong.
Thank you, Melissa. I'm sorry. Now we need Heather to lighten the mood, right?
Well, we'll see about that. Our next and last feature poet of the evening is Heather Nelson, who's a writer based in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Her first book of poetry, Motherland, was released by Kelsey Books in May 2025. She leads a local free write group, runs workshops at Grub Street, and plans community writing events. Heather is already working on her next book of poetry. Please welcome Heather.
Thanks so much, Richard, and hi everyone. First thing I really want to say is just Kerry. I was just so blown away by your poems. A lot of those poems I saw in workshop, and here they are now, and just they're sad, but also your voice is so strong and so beautiful, and just wow. And yes, John said, "Where's the book?" And I'm saying, "Where's the book?" too. So just incredible. Thank you. And it's really nice to see a lot of my friends here, just to support. So as Richard said, and as I wrote in my teeny little bio, I do have a book that's been out this year, Motherland. So I'm going to read a little bit from that. But what I was thinking about as I was thinking in the other part of my bio, which is that I'm working on new stuff, I tried to pick out poems that were all about the time of year. I find during this time between January and March, I start having similar feelings each year, at least for the past 5 to 10, similar thoughts. It's kind of like I'm on a rotation where I saw a video one time somebody said, this is my winter arc. So I'm kind of reading poems that are from my winter arc, some from a little while longer ago, and some from more recently, which will be in whatever my new book happens to be. So the first one I wrote during quarantine when we were doing everything on Zoom, not just this reading, but everything. And it was a prompt from Maya Angelou, which got it started. And so I'll just go ahead. I won't explain anymore because it will become evident. So it's called On the Pulse of a COVID Winter Morning. But seek no haven in my shadow. I will give you no hiding place down here. Maya Angelou. I'm going out for a walk, I shout up the stairs to the kids with their earbuds in. I'm already tired just standing up before long johns and wool socks, before snow boots and masks. The house tells me there's more to do, but when I pass the mirror, I look away. Carl Barron Plaza is bleak. It's only me and the others who have nowhere else to be. I'm distressed. I walk faster until I reach the icy footbridge. The Charles River tells me it's nothing personal. It reminds me that I haven't been cold long enough. On the riverbank are shoes, jackets, and plates piled up by a fence. Under the steps is a plastic shelter. I'm no master of war, I posit, huffing up the steps 1 foot at a time. I'm a busy woman. Check my calendar. When I get to the top, I'm heading back. It's January 2021, the water calls out. Time to stand on the rock. Do I have to? The river pretends not to hear my complaint. Knows I'd take a ride home if I could. Virtue be damned. It waits for me to see. There's not another way. Another kind of pandemic period one. This is called Last Family Excursion Before Quarantine. I encourage Owen to kick a tree on our walk. Because he's angry, he won't do it. I kick the tree instead. It doesn't flinch, just takes it. A broad sugar maple, I've learned, can sustain many taps without injury. If there were a maple god, would she give me more than I can carry? Would she think like an Audubon volunteer, earnest and cheery in the early March field, rehearsing as fresh what she's known forever, the roots, the sap, the buds? All right, and the last one in this book, written a couple years ago near my birthday, called Local Warming. February hedges full of hidden sparrows twitter brightly, warm a patch of concrete, crack through the ice. Snowdrops emerge, furtively, too soon. I love them furtively because the time is wrong, because they are my secret. I was once a teacher, now I shop like everyone else. Instead of writing, I take yoga. Rather than emptying myself of want, I envision sirloin steak marbled with fat. Once I thought age, now I slide into 56. Once again, I close my eyes, try to return to where I am right now. All right, so those are book poems, and then these other poems have been written within the past, kind of year or two, and need to go somewhere. So this one is called Yellow January. Yellow January light, sliced by a silver sliver of moon, reminds me it's my morning, that the street is my shore. Crisp cold claps my cheek on my first step out the door. Sparrows chirp in the brown hedges, sending me private messages. The pavement crunches and crackles, littered with aqua ice melt. The sidewalk is a strip of beige cement, thin as a riverbank. On Sunday, I make it off my block. At the MFA, I fear I don't look long enough, that I don't really see the art, or my own life, that I don't notice what I ought. If I were on O'Keeffe's rusty red plateau, with a clear horizon view, way beyond what I know, I'd be too anxious to even begin. My shoulders would huddle against the wind. The remote is not my medium. I flirt with distance, but yearn to return to where I've already been. Every winter, the morning light says, "Here we are again." All right. Next one is also a high bun, kind of like what Kerry was working on, and it's called First Saturday of January. When I set out, my husband and son are already on their own walks. I leave listlessly, looking for a sign from the streets allowing me to move more purposefully. Golden brown seed pods are framed in milky fuzz. Sage green and lilac squares checker the church window. Orthodox Christmas wreaths are still up. Not even the stop sign will tell me when I've seen enough. Midway through the crosswalk, my AirPods dislodge and I stoop to pick them up. Dodging bus stop residents, I continue my plod. Ostensibly, I'm accomplishing more than one thing, not only walking, but also listening to a book. The story is fantastical, awash in trans erotica, set in another century, having a particular effect on me. Its words are wet and salty, the fictional day dark and sultry. I feel slightly sticky, despite a dry wind whistling in my ears. My hat rides up, and I can't zip that damn purple coat with its long zipper shut over my sweater the color of oatmeal. Winter breeds idle fevers, close quarters, excess of introspection. All right. This is my son and my husband were all watching classic films for his film class in high school. So this one is called After Watching Sunset Boulevard. Because I've reached a certain age, I hesitate to go out at night. In the winter, it's dark early. I hesitate to leave my family and my living room, to step out into the street, to enter a scene I can't yet picture. Frankly, I also hesitate in the day. I have to brace myself for each face-to-face meeting, summon presence from exhaustion. Maybe it's not age after all, but my character, which makes me recoil from the constant hard work of daily circulation. In fact, I've always been split, straining towards travel, but remaining in place, as though homebound, although my leash is long. Even when my day's just begun, my alarm clock has just rung, my urge to cancel wrestles with my urge to run. This is another kind of responsive piece. I saw some artwork by Louise Nevelson when I was in New York, and I took a quote from her. So the title is Cambridge Close Up, and the quote is, "The inner, the outer equal one," Louise Nevelson. This 57th winter, the space into which I must steer my car has narrowed. Compacted by snow, borders subtly shift. The slender, familiar vehicle is replaced by a wider model. I'm squeezed further into my lane. The season, too, takes a toll on my view. Entering the house, I kick off my fusty boots. I plop on the couch, watch the wilt of my plantings, their conspicuous droop. Dejected and frizzled, all heathery gray, they're not even trying to maintain a display. My dining room's lost its most attractive prospect, the trellis that used to be so vibrant, covered with leaves both vivid and pliant. My vine's sparse remains are rigid as plastic, just a few frigid leaves the color of chocolate. In October, dead flowers brought me song and swagger. These days, if I compare at all with Mick Jagger, I see us as beasts of delicious old burdens, our charms almost completely hidden by curtains. All right. This one is called Live With It. I'm starting to be a little bit more stern with myself. Live with it. Live with the sounds. Take off your headphones. Live in the 5 minutes between gym and home. Live without thinking about laundry or oatmeal, about what's next on your list, about how you feel. Instead, take note of small encounters with items that don't require your attention. A bush by the post office, too low and wretched to mention, extends its spindly branch, sports a red ribbon. The stone cone topping the corner store points towards Sienna, coated with snow. Clearly the season won't shift on its own. Push it by moving extra slow. Walk until time sweeps you up fast and far, like snow sliding into the windshield of your car. All right. This is the penultimate poem called I Won't Forget. I won't forget the grocery list, the car inspection, the mammogram for my protection, that the sun sets at 4 o'clock, the meager evening's pinkish gleam, the daily seeing without being seen. My students say my touchstones, my restless words, remind them of someone leaving home. I breathe in clarity, my message by the light of street lamps, less pomp, more circumstance. And the last one is called Restorative Yoga. The earth is round without being soft, her girth marked in oak trunks, her enormous bulk draws us close. Her stout strength stands fast in all weathers, shelters us contingent creatures, giving us whatever we need to survive. For example, blubber, a coat for cold water, a blanket against wind and exposure, milk which morphs into butter. She offers the ephemeral spread of pleasure, doesn't encourage us to enjoy aging exactly, just to sit still and feel it with all the others. And that's it. Thank you very much, you guys.
Wonderful. Thank you, Heather. For those who may not know the reference, the use of penultimate, it goes way back in this reading series. And I think it started with just wanting to have a really long word that you knew. But it also hinges on what Robert Frost said, that poetry is ultimate. Everything else, even religion, is penultimate. So thank you so much. There definitely is not the specter of death in your work. You are definitely in midlife, and it is a very lively scene. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Richard, for hosting and giving us this chance to come together.
Absolutely. So up next, we've got our open mic, and I want to share that our next reading in April 3rd, will be with Wendy Drexler and Mary Bookinger Bodwell. So looking forward to that reading. I think both of them have new books, and it will be exciting to hear them. But for now, please welcome Margot Wizansky.
Hi, everyone. A lovely reading and great to be with you. When I was trying to figure out what to read tonight, David said I should take everybody far away from what's going on in the world.
Excellent.
So this is called After Rosa Visits the Shelburne Museum. Intake valve for the trim tank pump, my granddaughter said with her head averted, as though she was reluctant, then said it again in a quiet voice, a string of words stuck in her head. She'd gotten them from a placard at the Shelburne Museum on the Ticonderoga, the last walking beam side wheel steamer. Next time she was on a boat, she asked a mate, "Is there an intake valve and a trim tank pump on this boat?" For an answer, she got more information than she'd ever need. A boiler feed valve and backflow preventer, necessary on machines using water for their operation. A heavy-duty valve to regulate the water, keep the boat level, prevent capsizing. I heard iambic pentameter and trochee, intake valve for the trim tank pump. Rhythm over meaning, words for their own sake, stuck in my brain too, until the last walking beam side wheel steamer pulled them out. A beautiful boat with a rocking beam visible above the upper deck. Built on a wooden frame, powered by coal, a cargo hold for livestock and dry goods, an elegant interior. And I think of us, like the old side wheel steamers, once elegant, once able to work without digital intermediaries, becoming obsolete, not needed anymore, replaced.
Thank you, Margot. Up next, please welcome John Engstrom.
That's such a great poem. What happened?
You're good.
Oh, okay, good. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. This is a recent poem, and the title is Boo Hoo Hoo or Screw Hoo Hoo. Witched it to look frightened. Mom, who she admits shameless community building. Specie cheerful, seated under the toilet on duty, making also her frock, making her song and dance. She flings off a tuna sarong, a spitball, how fish, green chat. Ragmom Jane ahead puts, liar, she objects, get yours. Down the fini, and Trout was complaining, head down, didn't get it. They blacken it with soot, place it in the broiler, and the head is the evening. The air, it is air, and soul a dump cradle. If I have any pill, it says, a poverty serum. The mercy disconnects, energy and flame, was married to each other back in the day. Old isolation of my papa, that old grub ass. Oh, settle in the tray from my host from the far place. Friend me only, high knows her now. Kinship doubled out the Herculean top into its noom. A media constipation, whittle cosmos, C-section, trout, eager, not the self, as gaslight her, who cousins you to belie a cloak of true convenience. Good heavens, hidden beneath floorboards. She was literally what she professed, monstrous not to reason. Boo hoo hoo or screw hoo hoo. Thanks.
Great, John. Very
Mm.
self. And now, please welcome Carla Schwartz.
Hi. What a great reading this evening.
Mm.
Today, I started to write about America and got lost looking out the window. The bright sunshine gleaming on the still white snow of yesterday's blizzard, branches popping in chorus, freed in a puff of melt from the weight of white clumps. Whose America might I have written anyhow? The America of placards, of costumes and shouts, the America of pretense, of safety, of status quo, the America of hard work, of living the dream, an America with all its chest puffing missile might, its misspent dotage that brings me shame. Who is my America? Here she is, a young pine surviving, reaching for the light in the shadows of surrounding pine, oak, and hemlock, their networks of roots gone dormant in the freeze. What does she have to say, to strive for, huddled into herself, hunched over, head buried in snow, a dancer in bough, waiting for the sun to do his work, waiting to burst out from under a heavy thumb, to spring back in release? Thank you.
Amazing.
A poem about resilience. We
Yeah.
need those. We really need those. Thank you, Carla. And now, Steve Nickman.
Thanks, Richard. And thanks, Kerry and Heather, so much. You've done a lot for my current events related depression tonight. This is called In the Air. John, my house cleaner from Cape Breton, has become an old friend. His maritime humor can be dry. Every Christmas, he brings me a bottle of Canadian single malt. We used to have a nip together when he finished up, till we agreed it was too early in the day. After he leaves, In my bathroom, I find the oblong throw rug rotated 90 degrees.
Oh,
It's been going on for years. I always turn it back the way it was. We never mention it. Does he notice? Does he know I notice? On this bubble of unknowing, the world's existence rests.
I love it. That's great.
Thank you, Steve.
Steve.
Love that. Love that. Please welcome Sharon Foley.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to read from my book, A Kind of Mercy, that just got published in September. So this is about my life as a sister of mercy years and years ago. Second thoughts after my first vows. Silent as winter woods, I pause like a rest in a Bach chorale to ask myself questions. Why am I here? What does it mean that my heart is for mercy? I had to ask my parents for gifts of a broom and mop for Christmas. I did so willingly, though they protested, dressed them up in red felt, a 6-foot-tall stocking, my name embroidered boldly. Where does my heart rest? I rest in God. And what of the young priest who brought strawberries in winter to the convent party? How we sat by the fireplace, how I wanted him to stay.
Gorgeous, Sharon. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And now, here is Ruth Hoberman.
Thank you. I've been torn between reading a poem about the current situation in the world, which just another poem that came out in Michael Broder's Substack, A Poem a Day Against Trump, and a poem I just wrote that is a little bit more upbeat. So I think I'm going to be very brave and read the poem I just wrote, hot off the computer, but maybe more cheerful. And it doesn't have a title, but if anybody here thinks maybe it's about them, it is. Gray as dusk all day and cold. Harvard Street puddled with snow melt. Bits of ice skulk underfoot. But somehow we've managed to clamber here, settle with our lattes at a small round table and talk. Your poems, mine. What is this light that warms us as we lay out thoughts like fabric on the table? Lineation, diction, allusion. Two ancient, thimbled seamstresses comparing thread heft and stitch length. I think of Rothko in love with Fra Angelico, mixing his paints with egg when no one saw, or Rilke and that torso. How something hovers beyond us, some shade of indigo or vermilion, some balletic twirl or perfect shoulder. Say we climb inside, reach a promontory we can see time from. A gift, this peak we're on, this peak of setting sun, this love of words that lights up our departure. Thank you.
Very nice.
Wow, thank you for
Brilliant.
Yeah, wow.
It's like the icing that hasn't even hardened yet.
Yeah.
It's a brand new poem.
Mhm.
Wow, awesome. And now our penultimate poet, Kathy Whitham.
Happy not to be ultimate. It's always Richard though, right? Okay, yeah, I was trying to think of what to read, but I'm gonna read this. It's called An Enema for the Road.
Good. That's good.
If only there was enough water. But the water is erratic these days. and confused into frozen flakes in the south.
Mm.
The frozen water that fell from the sky here in Boston was not confused. It performed beauty and provided a backdrop for the cardinal in my backwoods to revel in crimson. Where are the words when the color of silence is white fog? The moon is new, the snow is cold, colors are quiet. The lines blur, curtains part, steam rises off the lake. Unfolding like backwards origami, a whole galaxy depixelating.
Mm. Very nice. Revel in crimson. I love that. Yes, Kathy is right. I will conclude our evening reading with a poem I wrote recently. I'm kind of like Leonard Cohen, beginning to act sort of biblical in my work. This is called My Genesis. Father takes me through the forest with his axe. He's good at chopping off his feelings. Mother helps me name the flowers: purple dawn throat, meadow-footed pattern spreader, moonlit touch me not, dragonfly dreamweed. What to beware of, what to admire. At first, there's just my brother and me, nearly killing each other over nothing. When I don't die, Mother has another boy anyway. Father fells the tree while reciting his motto, action, not words. I have my way with words. They show me where to go, parting the grass at the edge to everything yet to be praised.
Beautiful.
Oh,
You can relate to that.
Lovely, lovely.
Yeah.
Wow, what an evening it has
Night.
been.
Very nice night. Yeah.
Thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you, Richard.
Really lovely.
Yeah, thank you, Richard, for hosting.
Yeah,
My
thank
pleasure.
Yes,
My
thank
pleasure.
you to Richard and the readers. Yeah.
Spring is coming soon, y'all. Hang in there.
Heather and
you. Yeah.
Yes, yes. The temperatures are going to rise, and it will gradually become light toward morning.
That's right.
Hey, y'all.
Good night. Thank you.
Yeah.
Night.
Well, thank you,
Bye.
readers.
Night, everybody.
See you again soon.
Thank you for coming.
Heather and Kerry, wonderful.
Yeah, beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. So glad I was here. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.